and I think it's fully set up. Now I have
Very
to.
nice.
Yep, sweet. Okay. Now I can copy that link, go over to Discord. Everyone. Let's hope it worked. Alright. Going to go on YouTube and see if it worked.
All right.
Yep. It's on, but for some reason you're not showing up. Oh, never mind, you are. I
Cool.
think there was some latency issues. Alright, it says we're live. Okay, we have one viewer, it says. So we'll wait for a couple more
That might be
people to.
me.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Alright.
I can't see myself.
Right now you can't? Great.
No.
Can you now?
Oh, yep.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, it shouldn't be doing anything. Oh, 3 concurrent viewers. Alright, so at least we have 2 other people on, because I'm not watching myself.
All right. Let's make sure chat's working.
Yeah, go ahead and type something.
No, someone else type something.
Oh, better gaming
It's
chair.
not showing
Yep.
up on this. Oh, there we go.
Yep. Okay, sweet. It's showing up.
It's
Good.
just delayed.
Yeah, there's always a little bit. I think there's like maybe 10 seconds of like latency. Not sure what causes it, but
That makes
okay.
sense.
I mean, we're live. I'll wait for like maybe one more person, and then I'm ready to go if you are.
Yep. Good to go when you are.
Hey, what's up, gaming? What's up, better gaming chair? How you doing? Oh, YouTube has this like new top fans kind of thing going on.
Hmm.
Oh, I just screwed up the chat. Okay, yeah, apparently you can gain XP from actually speaking in chat. Hopefully that makes people hopefully that actually makes people, interact a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. And just wondering, you can hear yourself, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. I guess we'll go ahead and start. So, my name is Tamer, as you guys probably know. I run most of this channel, but I'm bringing other people on, like my good friend Keenan, who I've known since high school, who is also majoring in computer science. And with that, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself, Keenan?
Yep. My name's Keenan. Like Tamer said, I've known him since sophomore year of high school, I think. We've both been just interested in computers, and we were in the our high school's like coding club that we both had a part in starting up again. Um, so yeah, and I've been involved in the Discord for probably about a year now, just helping out. This is my first like big part of the YouTube channel.
Yep. Uh, so the whole thing about this podcast is mainly just to sort of interact with you guys more, and we plan on bringing more people onto this channel. We want to expand a lot more, uh, create more content, deliver more for you guys. And these podcasts are more of just a chance for all of us to be able to talk together, converse about different things like our interests in CS and IT, possibly some code reviews in the future, answering any questions, just a lot of different things where we can all interact with each other. Hey Raptor, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. Um, yep, and this episode is mainly just for meet and greets. So, nothing, no specific topic at all. Um, in the future, we do plan on talking about other topics like, perhaps maybe some certain issues in IT or CS at the moment, certain hot topics like AI improvements, maybe some new frameworks that just got released. Now, I myself in particular, the area of CS and IT I more resonate with and work with the most is mostly software development and full stack website development. Uh, I love working with like APIs, whether it's making them or just helping develop them. I've worked in both front end and back end development for a job and also for some of my personal projects. One of which was starting the official House of Code website, which, if you guys have been paying attention to the Discord announcements, it has been going through a new updates being pushed over to React and Express, so that way it'll run much faster than what it was basically being coded in before. But yep, that's about it for me. I'm more of just someone in software engineering and full stack app development, or website development, I should say. Uh, what about you, Keenan? What area of CS and IT are you most interested in, and what do you usually do?
Yeah, so I'm not that much of an IT guy. I build my own computers and I know a lot about different technologies, but I'm not really interested in that in a professional sense at all. Mainly, I do work in embedded systems, so I write a lot of code for microprocessors, and I work very closely with computer and electrical engineers to design circuitry, and I write all the code that actually makes the circuits run, getting sensor data, moving actuators, moving motors, stuff like that, which is pretty cool. That's what I do in my professional life. Um, in terms of school, I mainly am focused on systems and kind of a lot of low level. I'm a big C guy. Everything I do basically is all in C, which is very fun. Um, So yeah, I'm very low level, very bits and bytes, and very interested in kind of unveiling the magic of how computers work. Is how I would describe it.
Sweet, awesome. Uh, For me, most programming languages I typically work in, I would say, are definitely Python, JavaScript, and C Sharp. And I guess SQL if you really count that as a programming language, but uh, unlike Keenan here, I'm not very low level. I work with a lot of higher level programming languages. I'm not saying I haven't worked with low level before. I've definitely worked in Verilog as well as a little bit of C++, but I don't have any outstanding works done in either of those. Um, but yep, so pretty much those are my top primary languages I work in. And if you guys have any questions for us about any of the languages we've mentioned, feel free to definitely ask. We'd love to answer a lot of questions related to what we do and how we do things. But yep.
Mhm.
So, what are some projects you've done, Keenan? Some of your greatest ones you probably like to share.
Yeah, so I think the biggest project I've worked on is for work. I've been on the same project for 2 years now. I'm the main developer of this safety device. It's a climbing hook for like cell towers and just people climbing very high. And basically, it detects whenever the climber enters an unsafe position and locks it so they can't fall or get injured. And we can also track spatial data so we know the exact position of the hook at any given point. Eventually, we'll add GPS so you can track an entire fleet. It's just a super big project, and for the most part, I have um, basically end-to-end control of the software side of that. Um, in terms of outside of work, mainly the projects I do is in school. I go to Purdue for CS. So the probably biggest project I've done is a shell project where you rewrite Bash, essentially a lesser version, but you still end up rewriting it, and that was pretty cool. Someone asked how long we've been coding for. I started really coding my junior year of high school, and I'm going into my junior year of college. So about 4 years. Tamer, how long have you been coding?
Well, I can give you two answers. The first time I ever scripted something, I was probably about 12 years old, and that was through Roblox Studio with Lua. And I was just trying to make a parkour game, and some of the scripts made it to where you can do like backflips or sprinting stuff like that. But it was more stuff I copy and pasted from a video that I watched or just kind of followed along. But when I really started to get into coding was probably when I was about 14, so a freshman in high school, and that's when I started to learn Python and become really interested in it. I was building Discord bots with it, I was building cool little console apps with it. And then as a couple years down the line, I started to progress more into it, getting more into object oriented programming, building full on actual like applications you can open up all from like MP3 file players, calculators, all kinds of cool stuff like that. I even tried building my own like simple math library that I was using for some games I was trying to write. Actually, I one of the games I wrote, I actually forgot what it was called, but it's on my GitHub. I think it was a Space Invaders themed game, and that was pretty fun. I built that when I was actually stuck in another country for about a month when I was visiting my family. So that was rather fun. Um, and then after high school, I started getting more interested in other languages because I realized I should probably learn something other than Python. So I started getting really interested in C sharp, and I kind of started redesigning the same projects I've already had, but in C sharp, just to kind of learn it a lot more. And then I got heavily invested into ASP.NET, which is a framework for making backends and APIs for applications, but in C sharp. So, for an example, for JavaScript, you might use something like Express, or if you're in Python, you might use Django or Flask. Well, in C Sharp, we have something called ASP for that. And that's actually what I use a lot for my current job that I'm an intern for. For legal reasons, I can't really give much information on what the project is, just because it involves a lot of sensitive data and such. But basically, we used C Sharp and ASP.NET to build a pretty scalable and large application that helps manage data across several thousands of people in the United States. And that's a really fun project, which I'm wrapping up soon. Um, then I started learning PHP for the first iteration of the House of Code website, which that's now being rewritten in JavaScript with React and Express. And then attempted at learning C++, but had a lot of other stuff going on, so didn't really have the time to sit down and learn it. But yeah, I've been coding for quite a while. Uh, Looks like we have a question. Have you ever built a TCP/HTTP server or even a backend in C? If so, please leave a link to the source you've learned it from. Keenan, that sounds like a question for you.
Yeah, so I had to build one as a project for my CS systems class. I'm not 100% sure if I can link that material given that it was for a class, but the best advice I can give is just look at the HTTP protocol, which runs on top of TCP, um, and just look at how that protocol is implemented. And basically, after that, it's just file management in C and sockets, which are very intimidating. But once you get the hang of it, it's just very. The only thing that sucks about programming an HTTP slash TCP slash any kind of networked backend in C is it's always very verbose and it's always a lot of code for essentially no reason. But if you plan it out from the start, you can make it fairly elegant and um, make it pretty good. So the best advice is just read the documentation, understand the protocol, and then implement said protocol.
Mm, pretty cool. I've never built an HTTP server in any kind of language. I want to learn how to. It seems very fun, but it's really cool. GV Snow on top asks, "Yo, are you thinking of making a Discord bot guide for JavaScript?" And the answer to that is yes. However, probably not anytime soon. If I do make one soon, it would probably be like in several months because I'm actively working on the full course video to building a Discord bot, but in Python instead. And I'm also still learning more JS, so I don't really want to attempt at a big project like that and, give you guys a tutorial on how to do something wrong. So, yeah. But yeah, I do plan on doing that in the future at the very least. Also, I've noticed it looks like our chat's a little wonky, so might have to just turn that off for now so that way people can actually read the chat. Just a filter I had. Looks like we'll have something to work on for next stream, but yep. Let's see. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay. I already know the basic networking problem is I stumbled upon a source to take me through the depths of it, but thanks anyway. Okay, sweet. Um, what else? Uh, I guess I could talk about probably some of my greatest projects. So, as you guys know, my GitHub has been linked to my channel before. Uh, like I said, my biggest project right now is definitely my House of Code website that I'm rewriting in React and Express. Other than that, most of my other projects were probably done in Python or C Sharp. I know in C Sharp actually I'm making this multi-use like math tool, and basically from at very first it might just look like a simple calculator, but you can actually do all kinds of cool stuff with it. Has conversions in it. Has a very pretty extensive graphing calculator built into it that I'm still working on. All of it's done in C Sharp. Um, let's see, what else have I done? Oh yeah, that game I was talking about. Which actually, if I can get it, maybe next podcast I might show it off a little bit and play it. But pretty cool. Thank you, Zen Zen. So I'm glad you're enjoying the podcast. Oh, speaking
Mhm.
of, in the future, we do plan to have more people on here. Instead of just me and Keenan, we might have some other people as well. Uh, we're trying to find more people who would love to be on, more of our friends who are also interested in CS and IT, things like that. Um, just for this first episode, it's going to be very simple, but we plan on building on to it a lot more in the future. So, definitely let us know what you guys think. If you have any criticism for this podcast, please let us know. We'd love to improve. I'm all for.
Absolutely.
We're all for constructive criticism. We both want to know how we can improve this, so that way you guys can enjoy it more. But we are glad that you guys are enjoying it, and I'm looking at this average view duration, and it's looking a lot better than the other streams I've been on this channel in the past. So definitely seems like you guys are enjoying it somewhat. And yep. But
Yeah. So you kind of walked us through your journey of of learning how to code and kind of getting into everything. So kind of figured that I'd walk you through mine.
oh yeah,
You
we'd
think
love to
that's good?
know. Right
Okay.
ahead.
Um, yeah, like I said, I started coding. Well, I've always kind of been interested in engineering and in problem solving. That's kind of my bread and butter, and that's still what I strive to till this day. I'm an engineer first and foremost, I feel, and just my medium of solving that problem is through um, CS and software engineering and computer science. Um, and I found that medium during my high school years. I was extremely lucky to find something that scratches that itch in my brain and also that I enjoy doing. It's very rare to find something like that just in general. Um, so yeah, I started coding and learning how to code my junior year of high school, sadly in Python. That summer, I was in a web development boot camp. So I learned HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and also I taught myself C++ a little bit here and there over the summer, which was very nice. The next year, I was learning Java. I did some app development and learning more C and C++. And then the summer of my senior year is when I got my first internship. I was doing AI development, specifically doing systems around AI, routing data, cleaning data, building the tools to actually use that AI, and helping the engineers that were actually training it to find ways to improve their models, which was pretty cool. And then after that, I just basically went full in on learning C. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Just simple. It's the closest to bare metal. That's why I love it. Um, and then I got into embedded engineering and doing all the circuits and bits and boops that I do now. And I've been doing that for 2 years. I don't plan on really stopping anytime soon because it's just closer to that kind of engineering aspect of CS. And it's just really cool, to be honest. Because you just make a light flash and you feel like a wizard. So this is what I like about it.
I saw you throw a little bit of shade to Python there, sadly.
I think it's deserved.
I mean, to be fair, when I moved
no,
away
no,
from
no hate
Python,
on Python, but it's either the best. It's either the best language for what it is for any kind of data engineering, any kind of AI development, any kind of thing where you don't really care about efficiency because it's not going to be efficient in general, or it's tools are already built out for it to make it more efficient. In that case, who really cares? You know, but for anything that's like anything that's not super data oriented, it's not a good language for it, in my opinion. It's good for prototyping and getting something out fast, but if you're writing an actual project, and especially if you're taking something to production and publishing it to the world for other people to use, and even more if you're planning on making money off of that, there's better tools.
oh yeah. I definitely agree with that. Ever since I moved away from Python as like my main like programming language, I kind of realized, wow, there's like a lot better stuff out here than just Python. And I honestly asked myself, why haven't I moved away from it sooner? But sometimes I am brought back to it quite a lot. And Python is like Keenan said, it's very good for certain things like data oriented stuff. Um, I always viewed Python as a really good like starter language, especially if you're someone who's young and in high school, never seen code in your life. Python's definitely a very good beginner friendly language. You can read Python code almost like it's English, just straight plain English, and that's something I've always very appreciated about it. And I always treated Python as just like one of those things where, kind of like what Keenan said, just something I can prototype in. Uh, honestly,
Yeah.
my least favorite language would probably be JavaScript, which is probably weird coming out of my mouth considering that I'm developing in it quite often. But I think most of
Yep.
the developer community hates JavaScript anyway, so
Yeah, the type chaining, so good. Oh. Um, yeah, Python, I think, is really good for learning fundamentals and learning thought process behind computer science topics. So, like, if you're learning again data engineering, or if you're learning even like how data is stored in general functions and stuff like that, um, it's good for computer science. I don't think it's good for software engineering. I don't think it's good for coding. Um, like if I'm a major advocate for replacing especially high school math classes with coding classes and with CS classes, because the entire point of a high school math class is to teach you problem solving, because who's realistically gonna need anywhere past initial algebra unless you're going into a field that requires a college education, in which case you're going to learn those math skills in college. um, but for people who just are in math to get a degree, the point of that math is to teach problem solving and to teach critical thinking. So why not replace that with like a Python course where you have to solve a problem through breaking it down into discrete steps and then doing those steps to solve said problem. Um, and in that sense, I think Python's a great language, but it serves the same process. It serves the same purpose as like block languages. In that case, you just don't have to drag around the blocks on the screen, which is better.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, and I definitely agree. Python is a very good replacement, for some concepts of math, especially because I don't know about other people, but in a way, I feel like Python is a language really designed to deal with a lot of math, especially because a lot of Python developers aren't really software developers or engineers or anything. A lot of Python developers are actually just data scientists who use certain libraries like pandas and
And
NumPy and
NumPy,
yeah, Matplotlib.
NumPy is what makes Python good for math
Oh
because it's
yeah.
written in C.
Oh, yeah. And I think NumPy was coded in C, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
because it's efficient,
Yep.
and because it's yeah, because you're dealing directly with the computer architecture. You can multi-thread way easier. You can
Oh yeah.
parallel process way easier. Um, so you can just be a lot faster, especially because Python's an interpreted language. So you're going from that interpreted to that compiled. So you're taking away that entire step, and you're essentially abstracting it to where you're doing that before the user ever touches the code,
Oh yeah.
which compiling's more intensive um, than interpreting, because interpreting you're doing one step at a time. But it's the trade-off between that, and also, again, Python's super readable.
Oh
um
yeah.
I don't like that it doesn't have pointers. That's my biggest thing. But I'm a big pointer guy. That's just how my brain works, especially because I've spent so much time in C and so much time drawing memory maps on my programs, that if it doesn't have a pointer and you got to do like a deep copy or whatever in Python to be able to pass just the data, because it's all passed by reference instead of passed by value. Um, that's one thing that really makes me aggravated with Python. But that's just a preference thing, I guess, at the end of the day.
Oh yeah. And I feel like it's just also one of those things where I mean, once you get used to it so much, you really enjoy it, and you just can't go back. Because I'm the same way with strict type checking. Now if like I refuse to use most languages that don't incorporate strict type checking and stuff like that. So I mean, other than
Hmm.
Python, like if like for an example, Lua, I don't like Lua because there's no strict type checking and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
there is typing in Python in the sense that it pops up when you're like mostly for IntelliSense, and it's mostly for like code hints, the typing. One language I do like how they do it is Go. because you can it doesn't have a defined type for any object. You can just say let this be something, right? But then later on you can define, in a language, this takes in this type of parameter. Um, and it kind of has the best of both worlds. I'm not super well versed in Go. I've played around with it for a little bit, but that's something that I really liked.
Actually, never. I've never even used Go. What is Go really used for anyway? Like, is there a specific?
Networking,
Oh, okay, that's cool.
yeah, it's used a lot in networking code.
That's actually really cool. Nice. I know that TypeScript was actually being rewritten in Go now, which was kind of crazy to me because TypeScript, if I remember correctly, was written by someone at Microsoft, and Go is written by Google. So Microsoft would then be using a competitor's resource to make one of their products, and I always thought that was quite funny. But yeah, let me know if I'm
Yeah,
wrong on that, by the way, if anyone here
no,
is
I
an
I
expert
think
on
that's
it.
correct.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a bit funny to
Um,
me, but yeah.
I do think that both are technically open source. It's just their main source control is either at Google or at Microsoft.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not 100% sure for TypeScript, but I think that's how Go works.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about TypeScript either. I don't really use TypeScript that much. I honestly had the option of doing my entire website in TypeScript, but I just figured JavaScript would probably be the best since I'm getting used to Express still.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't think TypeScript is worth the hassle usually.
yeah. I mean, it's really just JavaScript at the end of the day, but with type checking. I mean, it's really the only thing.
Yeah, you get into some weird scenarios here and there, but for the most part, yeah.
Speaking of
Um,
typing in JavaScript, man, I hate the fact that we only have a number type instead of like a dedicated integer or floats and all that good stuff.
yeah.
Pancake
The
Man
I
says, "Oh, go on."
oh, yeah, it's the same issue in Python too. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Python has it doesn't go back to primitives in terms of ints, floats, doubles. It goes back to a number class.
Well, I think actually, in Python there is a float and integer class, but whether or not those
Yeah,
are
you can
primitives.
type it as a primitive, but if you have a integer class, it goes back to a number class eventually.
Oh, okay,
It
interesting.
inherits it.
Interesting. I actually didn't know that. Pancake Man says, "Tell that to all my classmates that can't read basic Python. Like 50% of the people that choose computer science in junior high school or whatever it's called in England." I think that was referencing to when I said Python was like extremely readable.
No,
uh,
I think that may have been in reference to when I was talking about replacing math classes with CS classes.
oh, that would make more
Um,
sense.
yeah, I think that stems from not having resources to properly train teachers.
Yeah. Uh,
But
what was I gonna say? I was. Oh yeah, I was gonna say. Speaking of what Pancake Man just said, I feel like a lot of people in high school choose computer science without really knowing what it is. Because a lot of people assume computer science is more of just developing games or just coding by itself, but in reality, there's like a whole lot to it. You have to learn quite a bit of math. You have to understand certain mathematical principles. You have to
mhm.
understand how certain data structures work. Um, Digital logic's a big thing. You know,
Yeah, I think also a big part of it is communication. I think out of all the engineering flavors, like mechanical, aerospace, electrical, computer engineering, I think software engineering and computer science is the one that values communication the most. Just because the concepts that CS and software engineers deal with is so high level, and there's so much abstraction that you have to be able to communicate that abstraction to people who may not know anything about it. If you're talking to a business oriented person, if you're talking to a team lead who hasn't had the boots on the ground experience of actually coding, you have to be able to quickly and efficiently explain what's going on, where you are, what the plan is. Um, which is very ironic because I think some of the people in this world who have the worst communication skills always go into CS, and I think it's so funny. Um,
Yeah, I see what
but
you
but
mean.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've had this experience where you're trying to communicate a problem with someone, and there's just no way that they're ever going to be able to get it because there's just a barrier there, and being able to if you're able to cross that barrier and be able to explain whatever you're working in to someone who's working in something completely different, um, that's when you really cross that barrier and become, in my opinion, a really good software engineer.
Oh yeah. There's always that stereotype too that, computer science majors are extremely introverted, but I mean, while at one point I was also introverted, I think we all came to the realization that communication is going to be very important. Because I always viewed it like this, if in software engineering, while you might have the skills necessary to be a very good software engineer, then what point is there using them if you don't have the skills to actually communicate with them? Which is a pretty
Exactly.
fundamental thing, especially in the workplace. Even I will
Hmm.
admit it, I was pretty crappy at communicating in the past, and it took me a while to really get used to it, especially like communicating on a more professional scale, I guess, if that makes sense. More in a professional manner, that's probably a better choice of words. And, you know, it is hard communicating. It really is. It's really hard communicating because sometimes you don't know what to say, or sometimes you might say the
Yeah,
wrong thing, or you might allude to the wrong thing, depending on how you might come off to another person. And this isn't really just something that's native to CS or the IT industry. It could honestly be applied to anywhere and anything.
yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah, but I don't know. In my experience, though, other CS majors have not really been that much introverted. We've all talked to each other, and I've honestly never really met someone who was super introverted who was also a CS major. I guess the stereotype comes in from the fact that they work indoors all the time, and people often associate those who never go outside with along with people who are also introverts. I mean, I promise you, we all touch grass at some point in our lives. I mean, it might hurt us too, but we do.
I would say the stereotypes usually hold true at a school like Purdue. Like there's some weird people, to say the least. And I feel like for the majority of people, it's either they're very introverted and they truly love CS and they truly want to do it, or they're extremely extroverted and they don't really care about CS and they just want to do it for the money.
Oh yeah.
At least that's my experience.
I would say at my school, a lot of people are pretty extroverted, and some of us we do really care about CS. I'm one of those people who really cares about the entire field. Some people just only see the six-figure salary that you can potentially get, you know, and that's about it. Which I find
Yeah.
ironic personally, because having a degree in computer science doesn't automatically mean you're going to get a six-figure salary these days. You have to do a lot more work than
No.
just get a degree now. But I mean, that's a
Hmm.
whole nother argument, honestly. But I would say I've decided to become a lot more introverted. I keep my friend groups pretty small now, and the only reason for is because I've met some pretty weird people at my school. Oh gosh, no, there was this one time. I'm gonna spare a lot of the details because this could probably get my channel taken down. But there was a guy who just admitted to something to be completely horrible that he was going to include into his essay, and I just straight up told him, dude, if you include that, our professor might actually have you hung publicly. And I just stopped talking to him right after that because I
Yikes.
wasn't comfortable with it. But uh, some people know what it is, but I'm not going to say it on here. But yeah, it was pretty rough. And after that, I was like, you know what? Maybe I really need to be careful on who I talk to because I do not want to be associated with people like that.
Yeah, there's some weird people out there. And like I'm a weird guy, right?
Oh
I
yeah.
the majority of my income goes to paying for college, and the second highest goes to buying Legos. So, uh, point proven. But um yeah, there's some weird people. There's some really weird people.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of furries. It's crazy.
Oh, our industry's full of them too, which I have no
Yeah.
problem with. A lot of my friends are actually furries, and they're pretty chill people. So it's
Yeah, yeah. I don't get it. I don't have a problem with it, but not for me. I don't know. You know.
too much money for me. I could never get into it. Way too much money being spent.
That's true. It's so much money. People don't understand that. I talked to someone about finances of like buying a fursuit once because I was just interested. Like not interested in buying one, but interested in like, what's going on, you know?
Oh yeah.
It's thousands and thousands of dollars. It's like I could buy a like top of the line gaming PC, and they're buying like fursuits. It's crazy.
Hey, you know what? Hey, it definitely shows they got money. You know what? It definitely shows that they got the bag, and I
I
respect
guess.
that. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, one of my friends who's a furry told me that his whole entire outfit costed over like 2 or 3 grand. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, how do you have the money for that?
Yikes.
That's like 2 months worth of
That's
rent in
crazy.
some areas. but but
That's like a month of worth of rent in some areas.
yeah, yeah, it's a month. It's not even a month's worth of rent in New York. It's like a couple weeks worth. But uh,
It's crazy.
you know, I don't know. I've met some strange people, like actually strange. But I can't talk too much because I'm a weird guy myself. I'm obsessed with geology, like not geology, geography and like flags. I'm a huge flag nerd. If you show me a flag, a 95% chance I'm going to be able to tell you what country it belongs to, and even in some areas I might be able to tell you what region it belongs to as well. So I'm
Hmm.
someone like that. And some people see that as weird, like, oh my gosh, how do you memorize the almost 200 flags in the world? Pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But
195, right?
yeah, I think the number's around 195, but nowadays it's more give or take depending on who you ask. But yep, looks like we had a pretty good podcast for our first run. I mean, the average view duration right now is 7 minutes, so I'd say we did pretty awesome for our first one. Hopefully, we'll have more people next
Okay.
time though.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think anyone else is watching at the moment. So I don't know. Do you want to end it off right here, Keenan, or do you have anything you want to mention real quick, or anything you think we could say still?
I don't really think so. I think that was a good start.
Oh yeah, very good start.
Um, yeah, and then we can kind of talk off pod over the next week of what we want to talk about
Oh yeah,
for the next podcast. I think doing one on like AI or something would be cool.
yeah. You know what? We can probably release a vote in the Discord server as well, seeing what they might be more interested in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know.
I think that'd be good. Leave it up to the people. We should do that around Monday or Tuesday so we can have time to prepare
Sweet.
stuff.
Um. Well, other than that, if anyone is still watching, or if you guys happen to watch after the live stream has been uploaded, again, this is something we plan on doing. Hopefully, we can do it like every week or every 2 weeks. Probably gonna try to keep it on a Saturday or Sunday, just because Keenan and I we are slaves to our colleges. we spend we spend hundreds of hours a week working on our own projects, and we also have jobs of ourselves, So
Yeah.
definitely gonna be able to definitely gonna have to keep it to the weekends when possible. But
Hmm.
if you guys,
And definitely during school.
oh yeah,
I don't know how much time I'll have, to be honest, but during breaks and during summer, we can do it weekly. I have no problem with that.
oh yeah, for sure. It all comes down to our availability. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking 3 CS classes next semester, so it's gonna be rough.
Oh sweet. What classes are you taking?
Embedded systems, compilers, and software engineering.
Oh, nice. I'm taking
Yeah.
three CS classes as well. I think I'm taking microcomputer engineering, which incorporates a lot of assembly programming. So that's going to be. And then I'm taking operating systems, and then I'm taking programming languages and
Yeah,
compilers.
you're cutting out.
Oh, uh, whoops. Well, that's weird. Well, like I said, I'm taking microcomputer engineering, which includes a lot of assembly, and then taking
Yeah.
operating systems, and then I'm taking a lot of what was that? What was the other class? Oh, yeah, I'm taking a class where it includes a lot of like programming language features, such as like compilers, interpreters, lexers, parsers, things, all that cool stuff. Call stacks, things like that. Um, yeah, not really. I'm really not looking
Gotcha.
forward to the
I think my
assembly.
internet may be kind of dying.
Oh, well, that's not good. Well, we're just gonna end it off right here then, since we kind of basically did what we wanted to do. If you guys really enjoyed this podcast, be sure to subscribe. Also, subscribe to my friend Keenan's channel. I think he mentioned something in the chat. He is hard coded, so be sure to subscribe to him as well. Um, I'll have a link to his channel in the comments section. Don't worry, guys. Be sure to also join our Discord server for updates on when future podcasts might come out, as well as new uploads to videos. Um, Also, be sure to show some support. Donate to our streams. It could be super chats, or you can donate to the PayPal link in the description. That really helps fund these videos and these podcasts and other content that we push out as well. It also helps fund the website houseofco.xyz. So if you guys really want to support us, you guys can do it that way as well. All the money gets invested right back into this channel, so there's no profit being taken here. It's all being invested back for you guys to get the best content delivered to you. So be sure to show some support like that. Really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. Be sure to leave a like on the stream as well. Subscribe, leave a comment, so that way we can get more engagement and have our content pushed out to more people. And again, if you haven't already, be sure to join a Discord server. And yep. And that's it for our first podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really hope you enjoyed it.
Yep.
Keenan, do you have
Thank you.
anything else you want to say?
I don't think so. I think that summarizes everything pretty well, and hopefully the other podcasts go just as well as this one.
Sweet. Hopefully. All right. Well, good seeing you guys. You
Yep.
all have a good day.